What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadpool here, back with another video. This is going to be a fairly short video, talking about some theories with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So, spoilers, if you have not seen the movie yet, click off this video now if you do not want to get spoiled, but it's been about a week, so I'm sure hardcore fans have already seen the movie by now. If not, we're going to talk into two possible theories that I have and some possible explanations regarding certain scenes in the film. So we'll start off with Garrett, which is Mike's brother that got kidnapped and then later killed by William Afton. Me and my brother were talking about this when we were actually finishing watching the movie. We actually think that he could end up being Balloon Boy because every time Balloon Boy was shown, except for the very end of the movie, Balloon Boy was always looking at Mike, and that could be a coincidence, but it's like, if Garrett knew that his brother was working for the guy who literally killed him, why wouldn't he want to try to say, "Hey, guess what? I'm here. I'm your brother," and whatnot, and try to, I guess, get Mike to help him. So that's a theory that I think is very plausible. The only other thing I could think of, and I've seen some people say the same thing, is that Garrett could end up being Marionette or the puppet. In the games, I know it's Henry Emily's daughter that takes over the puppet. But obviously, the video games lore is completely different than the movie lore. Again, spoilers. They made Vanessa William Afton's daughter instead of it being Mike being William's son, which is a change I'm okay with. Like I said, I'm a casual Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I like the games. I like some of the concepts with the lore, and even some of the backstory in the lore. I like it, but other than that, I'm not a super like hardcore fan into the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I do like the games. I was growing up with them. That's about it. So, second, I guess, theory, I guess you could say, is I've seen so many people complain about the spring walk scene. Because, again, spoilers, they do the spring walk scene at the very end of the movie. And they do it differently. In the movie, William Afton doesn't make a sound. He doesn't scream, he doesn't freak out, and he doesn't really do much of anything except put his helmet on and say, "I'll be back," or "I'll come back, I always come back," which, by the way, Chucky said that first. So people who are being pissy that, oh, Chucky stole it from William Afton. No, Chucky said that first. Go back to Bride of Chucky, look up the "I'll be back" scene, and I guarantee you'll find out Chucky said it first. Anyway, with that out of the way. Here's my theory and my explanation to why William Afton was so calm in the movie versus the video game when he was screaming his lungs out because of how much spring locking hurts. Sorry, I thought I heard something. In the movie and in the games, William Afton makes the suits. He makes the robots. He makes all the stuff. So if he was aware, or obviously that would make him aware of the spring lock failure, and how faulty those mechanics were. So obviously when he's in that suit, he's going to be extremely careful on not having the spring locks, lock him inside, killing him. So obviously when the cupcake, rips open his suit, causing the suit to spring lock, he knew what to do because he knew of that failure. He knew what those mechanics would do, and the best thing to do if something like that is to happen is stay calm and quiet. Do not freak out. Don't start, screaming and hollering because you're just going to make it worse. So my theory is that William Afton is supposed to be this really smart person. So he was smart enough to realize, oh shit, this is happening to me, of all people. I need to be as calm and collected as I can, so that way it'll still hurt like a son of a bitch, but it's not going to kill you right away. And that's why at the very end of the movie you still see him lifting up his arm, still alive somehow, in agonizing pain. But obviously, as he was lifting his arm, that was making the spring lock even worse. So that is my, that, and it makes sense to me, at least. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. Please let me know down in the comments if it does make sense at all. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. If William Afton knows his inventions, and he knows how they work, he knows how to kind of, I guess, survive them if need be. If he was in the middle, realistically, if he was in the middle of getting spring locked in his own invention, then he would know exactly what to do to how to survive it. So, let's just say, the second he started getting spring locked, he's like, oh, and you can see the look on his face. He's like, oh shit, this hurts, but I know exactly what to do with it. Because, he knew he was going to die either way. You don't really survive a spring lock. But he also knew that if he freaked out and started screaming, hollering, and all this stuff, it would make it worse. So, if he was just, calm and collected, and, kind of panicking on the inside, but not really emoting it all that much, he would have a better chance of living longer. Because he's obviously going to die. He's obviously going to die. Or is obviously dead. He's pretty much dead by the end of the movie anyway. So, that's my biggest theory is, and that's the one that, to be honest, that's the one that I feel like makes the most sense. And it's not even really a theory, it's more of like an explanation. Because, like I said, William Afton builds the animatronics. He knows how that technology works. He knows how the spring lock stuff works. So when it starts happening, he just pauses and is like, "Oh shit, this is happening." And obviously he kind of like makes his little grunts and whatever, because it is metal shards and shit cutting into his body. But he was calm. He was not screaming, and he wasn't like thrashing around until the animatronics were dragging him away into the storage closet. So, he knew what was going on, and he also knew if he moved too much or if he was screaming or, whatever, it was just going to make it worse. Now, I know there's a bunch of people saying, well, the spring locks were still getting wet from his blood, right? I'm like, yes, they were. But I know this to be a fact because I watched a video on how spring locks actually work. Yes, you can have the spring locks get wet and they will malfunction, hence the bite of 83 or 87, whatever continuity you want to do. But in Springtrap's case, when he got spring locked in the video game, he started screaming because of how much it hurt. That screaming and fear caused the spring locks to lock faster than they would have if he had just been calm and just started bleeding to death. Because, obviously the blood would moisturize the animatronic parts, causing them to lock, but it wouldn't lock up as fast. So, yes, it will still spring lock you, but it won't lock you up as quickly as if you were thrashing around, screaming and hollering your brains out. So in the movie, he knew that was going to happen. I guess you could say theory, at this point, is that he knew he was going to die, regardless. He knew he was going to die. But to kind of make himself live a little bit longer, he knew, okay, this is happening. I know how this stuff works. I need to be as careful as I can and as still and calm and collected as I can, because otherwise this is just going to be a whole lot worse and I'm going to be dead a whole lot faster. So that's the best example or explanation I can come up with on why William Afton was so calm and so collected when he was basically getting spring locked. And, yes, he had enough strength to mutter the words, I'll be back, I always come back, which is his infamous catchphrase. and whatnot. And, you know, obviously when he put the whole head on, then yes, the whole suit would eventually spring lock. But when he was obviously in the storage closet, he was still alive, barely. But I'm sure after when he went to go raise his arm, after sitting there for probably several hours or if not days, when he lifted his arm up, that is what threw the whole rest of the spring lock stuff into place. And when his arm dropped and he started really twitching, that's when the spring lock completed its course. And now he is officially dead, becoming now Springtrap, hopefully for the next movie, or if not, the movie after that. Because there are supposed to be 3 Five Nights at Freddy's movies. And since the first movie is going to be a humongous success, way outdoing what Blumhouse thought it was going to do, we're going to get that sequel at some point. Hopefully by maybe next year. So that's the best explanation I can come up with. Let me know what you guys think of it. And let me know if you guys think that Garrett could end up becoming Balloon Boy. If not, I could honestly see him possibly taking over the marionette instead of Balloon Boy. But that's just a really ridiculous theory on my part, because every time, you know, Balloon Boy was shown, it was with Mike, except for the taxi driver at the very end of the movie. But even then, you know, it could be possible. So, I mean, who knows? Obviously, nothing is confirmed yet. So, let me know what you guys think. Do you like my theories? If not, please, again, let me know. If you think I'm batshit crazy, let me know. And I will catch you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool. Peace out. I'll catch you guys all later. Bye.